this is a special episode. A lot has changed. As you know, the pandemic is still going on. And one of us had a baby.
Shut up. Who?
Wasn't me.
And not I.
It was me.
So Angelisa is going to share with us her labor and delivery experience, because some interesting things, to say the least, happened.
For sure.
So, what's up?
Hey, guys.
And we haven't purposely talked about this too. So everything that she's telling us,
that's true.
It's just we're all hearing it at the same time, for the first time.
Yeah.
She literally has been avoiding us
because I was gonna tell them, and I was like, no, I want to get like raw emotions, not like this is like super dramatic. I don't want to play it up like it's hecka dramatic, but it was
still,
for me, right?
Of course,
and
it was
people
your
need to
first
know,
baby.
right, and people need to know like how this actually works, because I don't know if I'm the only one living in denial, but like there were certain things that I didn't know that they actually did.
And I also feel like you just had a baby during the pandemic. Like,
so that's
so obviously it was different because I had 50 people in the room with me.
Ain't none of that.
Oh yeah,
none of that.
Like, I had a little clan as well. Yeah,
none of that. Crew. I barely got my baby.
Even like visitors, you know, even if they weren't in the room with you.
Yes.
None of that.
But after, you know, like came, everybody popping up.
No, you're alone.
You're
alone. Like that's just what it is. I don't even know where to start.
Well, cut into it. So you was pregnant,
right?
Boom.
Yes. So I was pregnant.
Right.
It started there. That's how that happened. But I don't know if y'all remember, and we'll either insert the pictures or y'all can go to our Instagram. But there was a picture with all three of us, and we was all in black. I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant then, so you'll notice that my like placement was as such that I didn't want to disclose that just yet. Not for any other particular like bad reason.
Right.
I just you know, I'm just having my moment over here. So that's just that on that. But my actual due date was November 7th, and he came October 31st.
Oh wow!
So you came a whole 7 days early.
Yeah, and everybody says people say that usually with your first baby you come late, but I may or may not have low key induced it.
How?
You know, I partook in some extracurricular activities.
Oh, so you listened.
So
did you listen?
I did listen. I did.
And then by that, you know, we
that same day
walking up the hill,
you
know,
yeah,
or, you
yeah.
know.
There's teas that you can drink. There's tons of
she's
things.
talking about she got it in.
I mean,
but ain't nothing
she was
with that. We're grown, you know.
So
that's how she had a baby.
I will say
That's
this.
what we got here.
Correct.
It happened at this time. 3 hours later, I'm in labor. So like, it was no game. Like it was just
almost instant then.
Yes. Yeah. And I will say that I'm very happy that I did go in labor early, because there was so many complications. Well, not a lot of complications, but it could have been bad if I didn't go in early. So I don't even know where to start, y'all.
So tell us, so you went into labor.
Well, you
know we got questions, right?
Okay.
So you went into labor. So
went
how
into
was that?
labor.
And then
Okay, so
how did you know? Like, did your water break? Like,
nah,
boom. Okay,
nah.
So what
So
happened?
boom. So I'm laying in the bed and I start cramping, and I don't even cramp like with my period. So I was like, oh, this is a little different. And I didn't cramp during my pregnancy. I didn't have any Braxton Hicks. I didn't have nothing. Like I was just, you know, regular
chilling,
pregnancy,
you know?
right? Nothing eventful. I'm walking every other day.
I remember you.
Yeah, my little stuff. I wasn't really like waddling or nothing, but it was just like a regular schmegular pregnancy, I guess you could say. So when I got these cramps, I was like, this don't feel right. And I have a prayer call at like 5 a.m. with my aunts and my mom. And at 5, I was like, this don't feel right. And I texted him and I was like, I'm not going to be on a prayer call. I think I might be in labor, but like, I don't know. I don't know, because it just felt like stabbing.
Oh my God.
It just felt like a dull cramp stabbing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if I was in labor, if I was just like having a bad day. And
I also too, I don't know what that feels like.
Oh.
Because my labor wasn't due, so I can only imagine.
Okay.
And then I was like,
But don't you still get?
No, I had an epidural though immediately.
Oh, you
Okay,
had
so
an epidural
that's
and
fine.
so
So
you
you
felt
felt
nothing.
nothing.
Oh,
No.
girl.
Because the thing, I have a video and it's like Richter's scale,
Yes.
but I wasn't.
Girl.
So I'm like, can only imagine.
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, so let me give y'all a timeline. So 3 a.m. So my labor started.
Mm-hmm.
3 a.m. I'm starting to feel like dull cramps. I never went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Thursday. That's Thursday before. That's the 30th. No,
Mm-hmm.
is that the 29th?
Yeah, because Halloween was on a Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the 30th. So I started feeling the cramps at 3 a.m.
Okay.
So the cramps went until I actually had a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock that day, but I was still working because my last day at work was Friday, was supposed to be.
Oh.
So I had to get on a conference
You
call.
worked way up until.
Because we in COVID and I'm just sitting here. So I'm like,
why not?
yeah, why not get paid? So,
Right.
so basically, 3 a.m. and I'm hella dramatic, so nobody took me serious when I was like, I might be in labor. And I didn't even take myself serious. I was just like, well, maybe I'm just cramping. So 3 a.m.
That's cool.
Still cramping. And then I think around 4 or 5, they started to get worse. So I'm like, oh, this might be something. And then around 5 or 6, I was feeling nauseous. And I was like, this is so weird. I was not nauseous at all during any of my pregnancy. Then I throw up once. But now I'm throwing up and I can't keep water down. Come to find out, once I get to my doctor's appointment, where now it's excruciating pain. Like I'm in full on, these are contractions. So I go to the doctor and she's like, first of all, this is the first thing that I didn't know that they did. In order to check and see if you are dilated, they stick their finger.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. Nigga, I'm in pain and you just gonna...
Yes, let me see what's going on in there.
In mid-contraction. So I'm in pain and they're like, ugh, and I'm like,
Oh,
wait
But
a
you know what? I didn't
minute.
know that either. No one told
I did
me.
not
It
know
just
that.
happened. So I didn't know.
While you were
either.
there, they're
Yeah.
just like, well,
Yeah, let's
let
see.
me
Yeah.
see.
So I'm screaming.
Well, girl, with my,
Right, so I'm screaming, I can't breathe. Come to find out, this whole pregnancy, I had been super hydrated. I was not hydrated then. So what that means is you have contractions and they're almost like a waste of time contractions, because contractions are meant to open up your cervix. But when you're dehydrated, it don't do nothing but just
give you pain.
Just give you pain.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there in real labor pain and it's not doing anything.
Because you're dehydrated.
Because I'm dehydrated.
And so, because you couldn't keep down fluids.
Couldn't keep down,
Okay.
but no, I was
Okay.
dehydrated, and then that caused me not to keep down fluid.
Okay.
So-
So your whole pregnancy you was dehydrated?
No, just that day.
Just that
That's
day.
the thing.
Oh,
Every
sounds like
time
you
I
were a
was-
water drinker.
Right. So every time I was going into my doctor's appointments, they were saying oh, there's so much fluid around the baby. This is great. You're super hydrated. So I didn't even think I was dehydrated.
Right.
But that one day when I didn't drink as much water as I normally did, I mixed with the induction.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happened. So that was the first thing I didn't know they did. So I'm at the doctor. She's like, you're only 1 centimeter, and I'm gonna be real with you. You are
I'm gonna be real
dehydrated.
with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you know what she told me? She told me to go home and go sit in a bathtub. I'm in pain. Now I'm talking
but basically,
I can't. They can't
there's
admit you.
nothing that they can do because you have to be 3
At least
centimeters.
3, yeah. So there was nothing she could do, and I mean, I couldn't do
That's
anything.
crazy because they'd be like, you can.
Why?
Go
I wonder
home.
why they didn't induce your labor.
No.
But why? I wonder. That's a question to just think about. Why do people get induced? It has to be.
Well, I got
something.
induced because
It's
I
like
mean, I had
that,
nothing
right?
wrong. I didn't have no real issue, but I kept going to the emergency because I was in pain. I was like, oh my God, my vagina's killing me.
What?
And then the last time, my mom and I was out, and I went to the doctor, and the same thing too. I had that same week I had a doctor's appointment, and then they was like, oh yeah, I was, what is it? What's full term? With me, I had a baby. I don't even know.
39 weeks.
30 with 9 weeks. Okay, so I was 2 weeks from there. And it was like, okay,
I
well,
about 40 weeks. I don't know.
Well,
because it's
That
like
is a
after
full term
too. That's
too,
full term
yeah.
too. So 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, it's good. So I was 2 weeks before,
Okay.
and so they was like, well, just come in. You don't worry about your doctor's appointment. You're just gonna have your baby that day. So
Well, that
you're
is
gonna have a
so nice.
baby, and I was like, oh, okay. But there was nothing. I was just hurting.
Yeah.
So they was just like,
come on.
just come on, yeah.
Girl.
That's why I was asking, well, why didn't
I
it
think
just,
it
and
just
you're
depends.
Because
you're
it's
having
COVID.
actual,
It's COVID.
okay,
They're
okay.
not finna admit you unless they need to admit you.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
was one of the
That makes
downfalls
sense
of
then,
COVID.
okay.
Yeah, they don't want you to come in at all. They like figure it out at home. Actually, one of the things that they did tell me in one of the classes that I took, and I'm saying classes because since it's COVID, I had
And that's
to take
in
classes
air
online.
quotes too.
Yes,
For
air
those
quotes.
who are listening, not watching.
Yes. So I had to take my my classes online.
Mm.
So one of the things that they mentioned was, or one of the things that they were pushing is if you can get through a lot of your labor at home, do so. I was actually planning to do that until I felt the pain. Let me just be clear.
Right.
But most people, I mean, you know, like that's what they, prior to COVID, they would tell people that too.
Yeah.
Like, do the majority of your labor
Don't tell
at
me that
home
because I'm not listening.
Because once you get there, you just
I
stuck.
never-
Yeah, because
Don't
you're
tell
basically
me.
just,
You just stuck. And so I'm at my doctor's appointment. She's like, "You're 1 centimeter," and that was me shoving my hand in the air.
And it's not a hand. It's a finger or two.
Or 3. It would just felt dramatic. But she's like, "There's really nothing I could do. Go try and drink more water, get in the bathtub."
That seems a little harsh.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, lady, whatever. So I leave. But at this point I can't really walk. Like it's hurting. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I leave. I feel like I should throw a disclaimer in here. I knew people that were able to assist with this process a little bit. I knew a nurse that was able to assist with the process. I won't go into detail on how much she helped because it's something that other people can't get and they wanted.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying that to say in this next part, we reached out to her and she basically said, just try and walk a little bit out in between the contractions. Try and drink water. What I really need for you to do is get to 3 centimeters and I got you. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I can't walk. I can't keep no water down. So this is me, my mom, my boyfriend upstairs. They're trying to soothe me, give me water chips. I'm on the bed dead, essentially, just trying to get through the contractions. It was too much. I'm like, another one's coming, and you can't do it. You gotta just take that pain, bruh. I'm not big enough to get admitted, so I'm like, oh my god, I'm sweating. Help me, please, somebody.
You sweat like you would take
Girl,
a big shit and you be like,
yes.
but you can't take
It was terrible. And they're feeding me ice chips to try and get me hydrated. Girl, they coming back up. It was just a lot. And in between the contractions, I walked around the house a little bit. So long story short, in that aspect, I was able to get to 3 centimeters. And I went to the doctors again. And this time I went to who told me to come. And they were able to sit me in the observation room. So I'm in the observation room. Let me paint that picture for you. So I'm sitting in the observation room, me and my boyfriend, and they hook me up to this thing so they can monitor my heart. They can monitor baby's heart. My heart is thriving. His heart is not.
Right.
They're for the amount of pain that you're in, he should be moving more than he's moving. Don't tell me that. Because now I'm like,
you're worried.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So they okay, it's fine. Just drink some sugar. That should help. I'm going to give you some orange juice. I'm going to give you some apple juice or whatever. And just drink that. And we want to see his heart. His heart's still the same. Yeah. So they didn't really tell me that. But because of that, they were able to admit me. Again, she shoved her fingers in there to make sure she could admit me. So I was screaming in there too. But I was able to be admitted.
Listen, it's not that bad. That part is
that was terrible to me. I was like,
it sounds bad.
I'm in mid contraction.
How she's saying it, they shoved.
I mean, she did because what she had
fingers.
to do, they did. I felt so violated.
That's what it sounds like.
That's like you might
chills on my arms. I'm like sitting back
no, because look, this is what she literally said. She let me feel in there, and I have to stay up here through a contraction. So I'm like, what, Lord?
Get your hands off my vagina, please.
I'm
And
like,
both of
what?
these women have had pap smears, okay?
Yeah,
It's different. It hit different.
And I don't like
when
them
you're in pain.
either.
I don't either.
I don't either, but I'm just
that one
saying.
cold. I don't like that either. But anyways, so she's like, okay, we gonna admit you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, cool. So they take me to another room.
Mm-hmm.
This time they hook me up with the whole shebang. Like now I have an IV.
Mhm.
Now they're putting water or fluids in me.
Right. Okay.
So now they're doing
keep you
that.
hydrated.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now they're really monitoring
feel
my
like-
heart and the baby's heart.
Which I feel like is something that they should have did anyways. But
Right.
Mhm.
But so like I'm in there, so I'm sitting there,
Mhm.
I'm in pain, whatever. They was like, oh, are you gonna get an epidural? In my mind, I'm like, no,
Right.
I don't want an epidural. I want to be natural.
Ooh.
You see my hair, black power. I'm doing this. What are you
Right.
talking about?
Like, it is what it is.
Baby. When that pain came.
Give it to me.
Now.
Anything. What do you
Stat.
have?
Right.
I want it.
So I started off with like fentanyl,
Mhm.
and this is really when everything shifted. So I started getting fentanyl, and I was just doing
That's
that.
like
I
in
was
the IV.
Yes, and it's just natural. It's just
Right.
natural pain
Mhm.
supplement they give me.
Yes.
Out of nowhere, I'm sitting in the room. At this point, it's about like 6 or 7 o'clock on Thursday. I'm sitting in the room, so that's about however many hours of labor already. So I'm sitting in a room, and all of the nurses on the floor run in my room. And they're like, we need to move you right now. They flipping me from one side of me to the other side of me. They flipping me again. They shifting me around.
Mhm.
They're like, okay, we need to break your water right now. And I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Mhm.
So they instantly, somebody shoves their hand up there again, breaks my water.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I feel all of
They
this.
come roosh out. Mhm.
Yeah, all of this is gushing out. So I'm thinking, okay, you just broke my water. Am I about to push? Like, what's going on?
Mhm.
What happened was, in one of my, so there's a rate that a baby's heart can be,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to be between, I believe, 119 to 156.
Mhm.
His had dropped to 50
Mhm.
for like a
Ooh.
minute.
Mhm.
And they was like, oh my God, like the baby's not breathing. What's going on? So they ran in there to do that. It was able to help a little bit. Then they hooked me up to something that would create contraction for me or something like that. I might be saying that wrong, but essentially it was like really like monitoring my whole birth process.
Yeah. Mhm.
I wasn't really doing anything on my own at that point. So I was like, okay. So they start doing that, and then I'm asking them, why did that happen? And they're like, well, I don't know. But if this continues, we may have to give you an emergency C-section. Do you want an epidural? And I'm like, maybe, but I don't. She was like, well, I'm gonna be frank. If you don't get an epidural and we have to do an emergency C-section,
Oh my
we're
God.
gonna have to put you to sleep. And I said, the devil is a liar.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I'm not finna go to sleep because like who does that? And then you wake up and like what?
Yeah, groggy. It's a lot.
Girl.
Yeah, it happens to a few
Yeah.
people, a lot of people.
No,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So I'm like, no. So I'm like, okay, cool, boom, give me the epidural.
Mhm.
When I got that epidural, y'all,
I'm floating.
Could you feel them putting the needle in your back?
I could not. The lady that did
Because,
it did
was
a
it because
very
you were
good
in
job.
pain, or you just didn't feel?
No, I
like
just
that?
didn't feel it.
Oh, okay.
She did a very good job, and a lot of people said that
did.
they
You felt it?
It was pain because I didn't have any pain because I came in so early,
Mhm.
Okay.
and then you could I just had to breathe and be still.
That
But
ain't
it,
straight.
it
I had to
wasn't.
do that.
It wasn't like a lot of pain, but it was uncomfortable.
I will say that my IV hurt more than
Than
anything
anything
in
else.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, and my IV is still kind of tingly.
You had it all natural, like no drugs. No, you had drugs. Okay. I mean, she ain't said nothing, so I'm
I'm
thinking
just
she going
listening because
strong.
I'm like, I had 2 kids. I'm like, shit. One of them went up with my daughter. I was induced, and then with Swan, I had whatever I guess that was. It might have been fentanyl. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever they gave me, it was in my IV, and I was able. Back then, because my son is 14, they gave me a little button. And when I felt like I needed some
yes.
more.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
Go on and push
But
it in.
yeah.
That's what they let you do with the epidural.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, same
I was
here.
like, please
Yeah.
run that.
It
please.
put me to sleep.
I was like, oh, I
man.
need some more. Give it to
Yeah.
me.
Man,
hit the button.
right.
Hit the button.
that pain is like it's so unexplainable. But so they telling me that, so I'm like, okay, cool, give me the epidural. So the lady come in, she give me the epidural. She like, don't move. We're going to put it in. It essentially makes you numb from the belly button down.
Right.
So once you say you get an epidural, they have to give you a catheter because you can't get up and use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like you're just stuck to the bed. So I did that. Didn't feel any more contractions. Okay. But I could see that my
on the
baby's
scale,
heart.
on the monitor.
Right. So just imagine like being in labor for another like 10 hours after that. Just watching. I was in labor for a total of 30 hours for sure.
Are you serious?
Yes. Like yes. Yeah. For the first part of it, I didn't have no meds, and then I was at the doctor for like maybe an hour with a little bit of meds, and then I got my epidural. But yeah, he didn't come until that next day. Girl, it was. Whoa. I was so tired, like it was just crazy. But anywho, so I'm sitting there. With my little epidural, and I'm watching the whole time. I'm just watching it go. Right. They literally, what I do appreciate about the hospital is they tried so hard to make sure that I had a natural birth.
Yeah, that's real important because I hear stories when people say, "Oh, they wanted my wife or me to have a C-section."
Oh my gosh!
You know, it's like, "Oh, well, you're not dilated enough, so all right." Let's go.
Yeah, no. So, they literally let me wait.
You like exhaust all your all the options all the time.
The whole thing. Yeah. And usually you have the clock starts ticking once they break your water. Yeah. Because the baby is essentially in there dry. Yeah. Right? So that's why my little baby was so wrinkly when he came out. It was so sad. But
like, oh, you was like,
oh, baby.
Give me a kiss.
Girl, I
love you.
Right. I was like, why does my baby look so wrinkly? What?
Hey, that's how
it was terrible. And he was just peeling. I'm like, I'm sorry, son. Like, it was a lot. But
he's like, I'm here though.
Right. Girl. So basically what happened was, so I'm sitting there, I get the epidural, we're basically watching the clock. So there's an ample amount of time that I have where they have to do the cutoff, and they're like, okay, we got to give you an emergency C-section. So that would have been if I didn't have the baby by, I think, 12 o'clock or 12:31, then they would have had to take me. So I'm sitting there, I'm seeing the contractions, I'm getting the contractions. They were inducing my labor at that point to try and get the baby to come out and get my cervix to open. My cervix was not opening. The baby was still going down. Yeah, so he would do dips. So I would have a contraction and he would go super, 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 super low in heart rate and then come back up. So he was just doing that with each contraction. So they're like, okay, we're going to cut off this medicine that induces your labor, and we're gonna see if you can
do it on your own.
Do it on my own. I wasn't doing it on my own for like the first hour. And then after that, I was able to start having contractions, but they wasn't powerful contractions enough to open up my cervix. So we sitting there for another like 5 hours trying to let me go through the motions on my own. Girl,
5 hours.
I was tired. I mean, it was just crazy. So I'm sitting there.
And you can't go to sleep.
You can't do nothing.
No,
because at that point I'm like, is my baby okay? So I'm just, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So it was just, so I had so many people around me praying, so many people calling, praying.
Right.
And then I will say that this is the time where you really get to test your strength because you have people coming up to you literally telling you, you about to have an emergency C-section, it's about to be like this, your baby might not live, da-da-da-da. You literally have to black it all out and be like, no, I'm about to push this baby out. My baby's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go home.
On what you gotta do.
Yeah. Like I literally had to keep saying that to myself. Like I'm gonna go home. It'll be fine. Everything's okay. And that's hard for somebody like me because I am the opposite.
Right.
Y'all know. Like I'm tripping. So I'm sitting there telling myself, like, Angelisa, it's fine. You're not gonna have no C-section. You're not gonna have no C-section. Girl, we got to the point where the doctor, my nurse, came in with her scrubs. Like she was literally about to push me out. And the doctor, the delivering doctor, came in, hands again, and she's like, you know what? Let's just give her a little time because she's up to 8 centimeters.
So how far did you be? 10?
You gotta be 10. You have to be 10, and you also have to be facing.
So I remember that. Right. That verbiage.
Yeah. So I wasn't facing at the time. So I'm like, okay. So let me see.
What does facing mean though? Do you know?
I think
not a clue.
I want to say the baby's head is like down,
like crowning, like down there.
Yeah, I want to say that because she did say she felt the baby's head, but I don't know. So they go through the motions. They put something on the baby's head to track his heart rate a little bit better. But he had like straight hair, so it was coming off. So that didn't really work out. So I just sat there and I just kept praying. And I was like, Lord, let's do this. Like, they only giving me 1 more hour. Like, I'm finna have this baby.
Right.
So now 2 people is coming in with their scrubs on, and they like, okay, let's just check her. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna take her to the operating room and we're gonna do the emergency section. So the lady comes in, she put hands in, and she's like, "Oh my God!"
I feel like she had so many hands in her.
That's how I was feeling. I am violated. Like that's legit. I was like, bruh, let somebody else.
Every time it's somebody else. It ain't never the same person. Like everybody that been in my twat.
I just like, can we? I'm gonna check you now.
Okay.
Like you gonna check me? Yes, I'm gonna check
like,
you.
who are you?
Right, and
I'm gonna need you to put your name on the board.
That's
right.
Because like it was literally like 5 people, so I don't even know what that means for my body count. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, cool. So she puts her hands in, and she like, okay, she's 10, and she facing. So it's time to push. So here my boyfriend is like, wait, what? She wants to push right now? Wait, like the baby's coming right now?
Yes,
like,
we've been
like,
here
yes.
for 30 hours.
We're done
to go.
It's time
We're
to
done.
push.
Yes. Right.
You had enough prep.
So how
time,
are you feeling
sir.
right now? Like at this point in time, are you exhausted? Like how are you feeling?
Okay, so I got a rush of like, that's right, Jesus.
Right.
Go.
Yeah.
So I had a rush of that, but I was exhausted.
But
At the same time, okay,
That's the best part, though.
that's the best part. And I did tell the boyfriend one thing, because I don't know how y'all feel about this. We can discuss. I don't want you to see him coming fully out like that.
oh,
You can sit right here
I
and
couldn't
come from an
even-
angle,
I didn't
but
even
like
think
not
of that, but
straight on. Like
But Big Steven, he saw, and he was like, "That was
he's
crazy."
a mature human being. He is a mature
that
human being.
And
was
Jaleesa, like, I need you to
crazy.
stay right.
I
up
literally
here
said
with
that.
Me, look at me.
No,
in my
like-
eyes.
Look at me in my eyes. No, this is my eyes.
No, for
Oh my
real.
gosh.
For real. So I'm like, why don't you stand right here? Because like it's a lot going on down there. You can still see from an aerial view.
So that-
it's not straight.
So
I
you
didn't
by
care.
your side?
Everybody was down
Yeah.
there. I was
Yeah,
like,
he
go
did.
on and
He
get
did.
this baby
I
out.
was like, look.
Listen.
Was he
Yeah.
still able to cut the cord?
He was. I did leave something out though. I forgot about this. I know I was leaving a piece out. So they, when they broke my water, they noticed that it was, I'm not even going to use the medical term. Essentially, the baby was pooping in the bag.
Oh, in the placenta?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, that could have been dangerous because
he could have
it's in
swallowed it.
the
He
lungs.
could
Right.
have poisoned himself.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Right. So that was also another reason why they wanted to like cut him on out. But that wasn't in the plan because I think she came in at 12. By 12:30, he was here.
So you had him in the middle of the night going into PM.
PM Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was basically in labor from 3
The
a.m.
the previous day.
Yeah, 3 a.m. till
The
12:30.
30th. Okay, so you had him in the afternoon.
Yes.
I knew it was something wrong. I was like,
She was like, we haven't talked to Angelisa. She's not in the chat.
yeah. I was
No.
like, Angelisa, are
I
you
think
there?
she's having the baby.
Y'all for sure knew. I was like,
This
I'm
is
at this
strange.
hospital.
I was
I'm like,
like,
she alright. She probably
man.
I knew. I'm like,
She like,
y'all
you know,
could've
Shut
said
up. I was
something.
like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital. I'm dying. Like that was the pain that I felt.
Oh no.
All I
sis.
remember from my first pregnancy, like,
Oh no.
I guess, like you said, sometimes you're just in shock that you are like having a baby. And
Yes.
all I remember was at that time, I was living with my mom, and I used to lock my door, and so I had a key, to get in my room. And for whatever reason, I couldn't find the key.
Girl.
So I was on my knees in labor with a screwdriver,
Goodbye.
trying to unlock the door and
To get
take
inside.
the doorknob off. I just wanted to get in my room. I was like,
Oh
Lord,
my
please. And my mom like, what's
crippled.
wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I just need to lay down.
Right.
Like, but
I just
that's
need to lay down.
just
Girl.
Yeah.
where your mind be. Like, you just be like,
Yeah. No.
at this point.
No. People say that it's like having food poisoning or like Somebody told me like
that, so
me either.
I
Or like
think I had food poisoning
diarrhea.
before, but it made me sick. It made me have like diarrhea. You know, you're sick in that way, but not like
it's unmatched.
not like
Somebody
labor
told
pains.
me it just feel like you're dying.
It just feels like you're dying. No,
And
like
I'm like, well, what
And
does
see,
that
and I
feel
don't
like?
even know that because I didn't experience
You never
it.
experienced it.
it's a well.
And what I experienced was enough for me.
Girl,
so I don't know if I need to have any
girl,
more
I was
kids.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still want some more, but
You'll never remember.
That's the thing. You don't until it happens again.
Yeah.
You be like, oh,
You
yeah.
just kind
I
of
just know it
remember,
hurts.
like, right? You was like, I was in pain.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. what
Yeah,
that
exactly.
pain
I do
felt
remember it
like.
was like but there's different types of contractions because
And it may not be the same when
Right.
you have another baby.
right.
Yeah.
My cousin my cousin's fiance that had her baby 2 months or a month and a half before mine, she said that her contractions were different. They were like, you can have anal contractions, you can
I
have
had back
stomach
labor.
you can have
Oh,
back
yeah,
labor, you
yeah.
can have stomach. Mine was like stomach back, and it
Mhm.
felt like I've never been stabbed before, so I can't really say that, but it's a sharp.
At this point, that's what she
I'm
felt.
done.
I might have been stabbed, like I don't know, but it's like a very sharp pain that will shut your whole body down, basically, because you can't walk. Like it's
You
like
can't do nothing.
it's like shut up on that real quick. Like it's nothing you could do. Like you just stuck.
Like,
So,
this is it.
Right.
Like, Lord, is this it?
This is
Right.
it. I was like,
Please.
just take me now. I see why people get surrogates because
Oh, it's a lot.
it's a lot. It's
Especially
really a lot.
too. Also, well, good thing is the plus side is that you had a good pregnancy.
Right.
I
Because
did.
sometimes people they don't have good pregnancies.
Right.
They may have a better delivery experience, but or labor experience, but their pregnancy is horrific.
No.
Yeah, they're like constantly sick, and and that's a condition. I forget the name of the condition, but you can literally be very, very ill.
Yeah.
the
Throughout the whole
entire
pregnancy.
9 to 10 months.
Yeah,
that you're
like
pregnant.
basically morning sickness
Yeah,
throughout
the whole day, all the
pregnancy.
everything.
That is so
Oh,
hard.
it
And it
was
brings on
weak.
other conditions like depression and a whole bunch of
that
other shit
is
you don't want to be
depressing.
dealing with. Yeah.
To be throwing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and I will
All
say that's a
9
big
months,
thing to
like-
be like sick. And then I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I will say that it was a very strange time because we have COVID. We had a lot of social injustice issues, especially with young black men. I had a young black boy.
Yeah.
So it was just like a lot of emotions and feelings. It was hard going to my doctor's appointments with myself. Like,
by yourself. Yeah, that's
yeah.
another thing too because
like you can do nothing.
I have a couple
about it.
other friends besides Angelisa who became mothers this year during COVID, and just really what I get from it is that it's lonely. Like even if you have your partner with you and stuff like that, but like you said, you got to go to your appointments
All
by
by
yourself
yourself.
and this that, and the
Oh,
other.
I
It's just
didn't
different.
know
Even
that.
like your
Yeah.
baby showers, it's not like
That was
essentially the
trouble.
same.
Right.
And so it's like, oh okay,
That was
you
a
just can't
struggle.
enjoy everything that you
Right.
would otherwise.
And to top it all off, I'm like, okay, they're like, okay, it's time to push. I'm like, okay, do I need to push with my mask on? Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
pushing
they
with my
said.
mask on.
Next to
So-
that,
How
wear your
was
mask
that?
throughout the whole time.
Girl, so for number one, I had an epidural. So like I said, you can't feel from your navel down. So number two, I'm pushing and I don't know what I'm doing. Like you're telling me what to do. Like
Right,
you're
right.
like chin down, push.
Right.
But I can't feel nothing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Like,
Yeah.
but am I pushing?
Right. It's something happening.
Is he coming?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't
See
know
anything?
nothing. Like so I'm doing that and it did only take me 30 minutes to get him out, but I couldn't feel nothing. Girl. So and then not only that, you can't breathe. So you like with a whole mask on.
Yeah.
Like
Feeling
what?
suffocated
right.
while you're trying to push your baby
Right.
out.
And everybody around me, it's so many little O's.
Yeah, so
As I'm pushing, she's telling me, it was just kind of like negative the whole time. Like she's telling me, okay, if you can't push him out within this time frame, we're going to get a suction to suck him out, or we're going to still give you an emergency C-section. So the whole time it's pressure. They're applying pressure, like for me to get this baby out. So I'm doing all that with a mask on and like,
can't feel
That's a
nothing.
lot.
Can't feel nothing.
I can't breathe. I can't feel nothing. Like, what do you want?
I'm just,
Yeah,
what do you think
that's a lot.
is the baby coming? Like,
Right.
You done already told me that when he come, they got specialists in the room to make sure that he doesn't have any poop in his lungs.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does, they got to take him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all this stuff that y'all is scaring me with. We still don't know why his heart rate was dropping. So like that all didn't come out until after the baby came out.
Okay.
So the baby finally came out. So the baby's yelling, and I'm like, okay, that's a good sign because his air passages are clear, so
Right.
he doesn't have poop in his lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So the specialists are all running in there, touching on him, and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, they're supposed to do skin to skin. I'm like, okay, what was making his heart rate go down? Like, do I need to concern? He had wrapped the umbilical cord around his body. I guess he was like laying on it to
my
be comfy or
goodness.
something.
Like,
So-
you done took
Yes.
out all my water.
Right.
Oh,
So,
and that's why.
I
Okay.
need
Right.
something.
Right.
Yeah, because I was
I'm
wondering as you were
Lord.
telling us the story, I'm like, out of one day, like
Mhm,
all
he
of a
had
sudden
it wrapped
you were
around him.
dehydrated. Mhm.
But I was dehydrated, and the reason why I was saying I'm happy that I had him early is because they said it was so much like feces in the placenta, they didn't know how long he had been doing that. So I was like, oh Lord, my poor baby, like what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
So he comes out, he's healthy, they do all the checks, everything's good. Some of the things that I did not know related to tearing.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do that pause because I still can't use the bathroom the way that I like to. It's a month later.
After you had a baby, it'd be so different. Like that,
It's
you'd be
different.
little
It is.
squishy thing,
Yeah.
and that'd be the best thing ever. I'd be like, please, just give me my little squishy
Right.
thing. It'd be like,
So that's me all day.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up.
but
No.
does this hair to your booty hole?
I don't know. I think so. I think so, but I don't know. Like
They
she
just stitch it.
Yeah.
up, you
So she's
know.
in there stitching. She's basically like, so I push the baby out. The baby's laying on me. Everybody's like yelling, screaming, blah, blah, blah. All I see is her with this string stitching me up.
my
And I'm just
goodness.
like, what is she doing? She like, oh, you had a 2-degree tear. So it's not that bad. You don't have to come back. Right. And get right. Like, and get the stitches back.
I'll tell you if it's that bad or not.
Girl, so I'm sitting there dealing with that, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. The aftercare on that is unmatched. It's unmatched.
Unmatched.
It's unmatched. It's a month later, and I'm still. Well, it's like literally. I think it's like 6
I need
weeks.
to get you some yoni steam. I got some
I was
for
thinking
us.
that I
So
needed
check
to
out
do that.
Relax Girl, 'cause
Yes.
it's good for after.
After
you
birth.
know.
Mhm.
I was thinking about getting some of that, but I didn't know which one, and I didn't even research it yet. But that was a concern for me because all up there, it's not. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not the same, but it's a lot
not.
that goes.
It's not. I
into it.
mean,
It ain't the same yet.
No,
It's gonna get there.
it will be
It
there, but
will.
it's you just
You know,
had
'cause
your
it's
baby.
natural.
Girl,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that pain, I couldn't sit down.
See, that's why I think
Still
I don't
can't
want
all the
more
time.
kids is because I do remember that. Like after, you know, like
I
you
do
wearing them
remember
big ass
aftercare.
pads.
Girl, still got
Like
it.
you damn near got on a diaper.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
That's nasty.
right. It's like and then I have to
It's
come.
natural though. It's not
It's
nasty.
No, it really it's just uncomfortable
Yeah,
and
it's definitely
unwanted,
uncomfortable.
really. So
It's definitely uncomfortable. Definitely warrants for like a lot of showers a day. So there's that.
Yeah.
That was
such a
different.
beautiful thing.
It's so
It is.
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
it is.
I know I sound like I'm complaining, but I
No,
just
you're not
literally
complaining. Oh
didn't
my gosh,
know.
you just had a major ass
Yes.
life-changing experience.
Girl, literally
So,
did not know.
No, yeah.
You don't know what that tearing is like until you
You
tear.
check, yeah.
So
No one
I
can even
went
tell
tour
you.
with Swan, my first child, and for whatever reason, all I remember was I just had to go to Target.
For what?
I wanted to get out the house. Girl, I just had a baby. Like, I think he probably was about
Tripping.
2 or 3 weeks, and my grandma was going to Target, and I was like, please take me with you to Target.
This ain't act like she's in jail.
It feel like it.
Please
It
take
feel
me
like
with
it.
you.
Because you can't move.
Went to Target, got back home, and I was having heck of blood clots. And I was like, well, is this normal? Because, you know, you're already bleeding. And my auntie was like, that is not normal for like, because I was like, I'm having blood clots
Yeah.
out of me. But my stitches had bust.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh no.
So I have to go back and basically like
Okay.
do do it again.
It's a lot.
I hope
we need
a
disclaimer. We need a disclaimer
from
at the
wanting
front.
children.
No,
let me
my
tell
child
you.
is the bomb. Like, I love him,
Yes.
but
So
I
It's
wish
just something
somebody
that
would
is
have
part
told
of
me
pregnancy,
before.
part
Yeah.
of delivery, part of the.
It's a lot that
labor,
can
so.
happen. You can get hemorrhoids. A lot of things can happen.
I mean,
It's
hell,
not
you could
as-
even shit on yourself as you
can. You
know,
can.
push out.
I would have told y'all if that was part of my story. Luckily, it wasn't. I thought it was going to be, though, but
That was a part of mine.
Oh, was
is
it?
what it was.
it is. It
Could you
happens to a
feel
lot
it
of people.
as you
It's not like you're having a regular.
Because when I was pushing, you know, I had a epidural.
They just, and the
I just
doctor
felt
They get it
pressure.
so
They're like,
quick.
and we're just gonna wipe you.
Yeah.
You just had a little bit of poop.
Yeah,
you know,
they
coming
get
out,
it
and
so
we're
quick.
gonna
So
just
they
Get
told me
up
not
out
to eat, but I ate a Nutrigrain
bar.
bar on the way up.
I couldn't
was
hold
so
nothing
fucking
down.
hungry.
I was throwing up, like
yeah,
you said.
that was
Oh,
terrible.
mm-mm.
That was so terrible.
But I didn't poop. But it felt like, you
'Cause
know,
when
it was
you're
so low, it's so
pushing,
like right there.
Yeah, like that's what basically.
Yeah,
what I
it's
was
just
pushing.
like
That was
right
just
there.
Like,
You have to push with all of your might.
Yeah, you do.
So you just don't know what's going
You
to
don't.
happen.
mhm.
And it's-
My,
and it's
my
in your
labor
back.
was it was kind of long, but the actual delivery was just 30 minutes. Like
Oh yeah,
after
the,
pushing for
the
30
pushing
minutes,
part.
it was boom.
Yeah,
All I could do is feel pressure though,
right.
and it was like,
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
feel. I
like,
couldn't feel
and
nothing.
then
No,
it
you
just
can feel
like
nothing.
I did feel
that's
the baby
it.
shoot out because I was pushing so hard.
oh,
But I did feel
but
a
no
little
pain or nothing like that. Yeah, me neither.
No.
Yeah.
No, and it was
That's
so
why I was
beautiful.
saying that felt like the best part. With Swan, I didn't have an epidural. It was too late. With Naraya, I had an epidural, but like that was just like the most relieving part. Where it was just like, it's time to push.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah, when they tell you it's time to push, it's like,
oh,
Yes. I
Mhm.
cannot imagine my birth without an epidural. I think I would not. That's traumatizing. The type of pain that was for that long, I was like, that is. I would need to see a therapist. Like
Yeah, see.
it's too much
I
pain.
understand
It was
people
too
like,
much
listen.
pain. No, I need to talk to somebody. I'm trying to see am I missing anything, but that was essentially my birth story. He was
so you
5
have
pounds. Yes, he was 5 pounds, 9.8 ounces. Wait, 5 pounds, 0.98 ounces. So
Okay,
almost
big.
6 pounds.
Uh-huh.
He was 18 inches long.
Oh, long baby.
That was my child.
Okay.
Yes.
So how is everything now? And then do you have tips?
Everything now is great. I had a little moment in the hospital after because in my mind I thought that I was going to breastfeed the traditional way.
Mhm.
He never latched. And then after a while I stopped trying and I ended up just pumping. And I figured that would be a better situation anyway because I wanted other people to be able to feed him. And I wanted him to be able to want to go to other people. So that's what I do now. So I'm like pump like crazy. I have like a whole milk stash.
So you're producing milk.
I am.
Like
At
crazy
first I
now.
wasn't.
Yes.
At first I
Okay,
was
yeah.
not. No, I was
What
at
changed?
the hospital.
What helped?
I just got consistent. I got really, really consistent. And I just pushed through the pain because I was not producing any milk in the hospital. They're like, pump. You're not pumping nothing. You're just, something is just pulling on your nipples, essentially. Nothing's coming out. So.
And that is hurtful.
That's very hurtful. And if you don't do it every 2 hours, even though nothing's coming out, nothing will come out.
Yeah.
So I just
It's like you got to get that muscle going
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that
And
flow.
And that's so like, obviously I'm here and we're all women, but like you have such big boobs, and that really doesn't even matter because my boobs were hella small and like I was like a little cow. Okay? Like they were just
See?
like
No,
just
he
flowing.
would
Leak
not
from
latch.
shirts.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised I'm not. I might be leaking through this one.
Yo. All right. So what are some tips that you would like to share with the other ladies or mothers to be?
I would say, I know everybody says this a lot, but definitely don't get married to a certain idea because every situation is different. Everybody's body is different. Everything, you just never really know. Don't try and like, for instance, don't try and like not eat because you don't want to gain heck of weight, or don't try and like do certain things because you don't want stretch marks. Like live your life.
Okay?
Like
don't
think about that type of stuff.
hereditary.
They are, and there's nothing wrong with them.
But you don't have no stretch marks.
You didn't have to say that though, but
She doesn't. We didn't see any. We didn't see any
I
stretch
don't.
marks.
I don't.
My stomach.
But you never
I have
know.
with this a little bit.
I got a lot of it.
But I would say that. I would say don't get married to one idea. I would definitely say that for those people that like to like research a bunch of things, and I thought that I was gonna be that person too. Like you just want to read a bunch of books. At the end of the day, once that baby comes out,
right,
he don't care. You don't know what you're doing. Like,
don't beat yourself up.
So it is what it is.
This too shall pass.
As long as they survive one more day, you're fine.
You know,
especially
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Those are my 3 tips.
Boom. Well, thank you. She's
guys.
1/3 of us.
Yes.
For sharing your story. I know, because we have not actually talked to her.
I have been
in depth.
A turtle.
Yes,
so.
in depth.
No
So, yes. So, we welcome her
at it.
baby. We're back. She's back. And watch out for the rest of the season. We'll see you.
Surviving Adulthood. Check out the link below. You already know.
All that.
Tap in later.
All that.
Bye.